I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos broke out. And I'm not talking about legit, bona fide boxing, pure boxing chaos. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that's just embarrassing. I know you like to make money. You're never gonna stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop.
You might want to sit down for this because the conversation around Floyd Mayweather has taken a wild turn. For years, Floyd Money Mayweather sold the world an image of total financial dominance, private jets, outrageous jewelry, endless cash flashes, and the kind of lifestyle most people only see in movies. He wasn't just a boxer, he became a symbol of excess, power, and luxury. But now that image is being challenged from every direction. Suddenly, the man who built his identity around being untouchably rich is at the center of a storm filled with money rumors, legal questions, unpaid disputes, and growing doubts about whether the empire is as solid as it once looked.
Go to the damn poker table, don't go to the blackjack table, don't go to the slot machine for crying out loud, even if it's only asking you for $1. Don't do it. Stay the hell out of the casino.
One of the reasons this story exploded so hard is because the criticism isn't only coming from random internet gossip anymore. Big media voices and public commentators have added fuel to the fire, with some openly questioning how a fighter who reportedly earned well over $1 billion could still be surrounded by so much financial chaos. The central argument is simple, but brutal. No matter how much money you make, a lifestyle built on non-stop luxury can swallow wealth faster than people realize. Mansions, staff, exotic cars, private planes, high-end jewelry, gambling habits, and constant
To make all that money, if you ain't got any of it to keep for yourself, bro, keep your money. Because as great as you are, I got news for you. You ain't gonna be able to perform like that forever. We all get old. Father Time is undefeated. Make sure your wallet's fat when that day comes for you.
And that's what makes the Floyd story so gripping. This isn't some athlete who made a few bad choices and faded away quietly. This is a man who turned himself into the brand. The money nickname wasn't just marketing, it became his identity. He trained fans to see him as the guy who always had more, spent more, flexed harder, and won bigger than everyone else. So when stories start circulating that maybe the numbers don't add up anymore, it doesn't feel like a normal celebrity scandal. It feels like the possible collapse of one of the strongest public images in sports history.
Like unlimited amount of money, money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like there's all these lawsuits, like he hasn't been paying things and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
And I think Tasir for you is yours now is theirs each sir. You followed Floyd online, then you already know the visual language of his world, endless luxury. White car fleets in one city, black car fleets in another. Multiple versions of the same car in different colors. Jewelry layered on top of jewelry. Watches that cost more than houses. Flights on private jets like commercial travel doesn't even exist. His social media wasn't just showing wealth. It was performing wealth. It was designed to make people believe Floyd had reached a financial universe nobody else could touch. But the more dramatic the image, the more dramatic the questions become when people start wondering what
everyone else gets their stuff from. And he told me, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but he's like, Mayweather's broke. I said, no. He's like, no, really, Mayweather's broke. Now, I don't know if it's true.
Right.
This is what this guy told me. I'm like, how could he be broke? He's like, yo, he spends like crazy.
Yeah.
Spends like
I
crazy.
mean, it only could go but so long. I mean, and you're not fighting.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy shit like that.
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow.
Right.
As long as you keep your spending under wraps. Like right now, like I could retire right now. This could be my last interview ever.
Right.
And with my investments, I invested into a lot of great companies like Google and Amazon and Tesla over the years, and those companies have all grown and continue to grow, right? And I could actually borrow money against my stock portfolio without even selling my stock.
That's why the whispers about private financial stress hit so differently. Some critics say Floyd may have spent years maintaining a larger-than-life image that eventually became too expensive even for him to sustain comfortably. And if that's true, then the real issue isn't that he earned too little. It's that he may have created a lifestyle so extreme that stepping down from it would feel like public defeat. When your entire brand depends on looking richer than everyone else, you don't just spend money for comfort, you spend money to keep the mythology alive.
I need to help them, so and actually, I could stop them from using TMT as their logo right now. Because
you wouldn't do that because y'all cool again.
Yeah, I'm just not chasing it. But to be honest with you, I incorporated TMT in Delaware while he was incarcerated. Because he didn't sign the paper doesn't mean the corporation isn't valid. So I could actually, technically, it trademarks the term of it because his entire corporation is built on it. So I could tell you, you can't have TMT socks. You can't have that TMT shirt you got on. He don't understand that because it's just not. I just said it, and he won't be able to figure out that I could do that.
Damn, you and this guy, man. I thought y'all was good again.
We are good. I just don't understand why he having the conversation. How am I coming up in conversation? I don't even care about what they're doing.
So there's still some static.
No, it only happens when it's time.
Got it.
It's time to build some type of energy or some sort of press. Right. It's time to make a and then that.
Then comes one of the most explosive parts of the conversation. The claims made by people from Floyd's own orbit or from longtime rivals who know exactly how to get public attention. That's where 50 Cent's name enters the picture again. Whenever 50 talks about Floyd, the internet listens because there's history there, tension there, and a deep personal edge that makes every accusation land harder. Some of the most viral chatter has centered around the idea that Floyd may have privately reached out for money or financial help, a claim that, if true, would completely clash with the public Money Mayweather image he spent decades building.
Like you make yourself like we got issues over your anger. He's still the best out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. Is get the money, spend the money.
All that money?
And it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone. Trust me. Now it's like if you call him, he'll be at your local hosting in a nightclub because you need that action. Right?
What makes that narrative so devastating is not just the amount involved, but the symbolism. Because if a man who built a global brand around limitless wealth is suddenly being talked about like someone chasing loans, delayed payments, or emergency cash flow, then the entire public identity starts shaking. The image of Mayweather throwing money around like it meant nothing no longer looks powerful in that context. It starts looking like overcompensation. And once that switch happens in the public mind, it becomes very hard to reverse.
He has so many.
He's hilarious.
His spending habits are hilarious. His cars.
I love him.
And he's got like a whole fleet just in white. He's like, white is right. I got a bunch of.
He's got other 18 colors too, though, man.
Yeah,
he
does.
A gang of cars.
All
so
matching
he owed that money to the IRS. Why just give him a few cars?
Because he went so deep, so
How much does he owe?
Well, it's more than you want to pay.
Yeah.
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, like what are you talking about, man?
He's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash. Hilarious.
Another major piece of this story is the tax issue, because nothing damages the billionaire image faster than government pressure. For years, reports have circulated about Floyd's tax problems, including large obligations tied to earlier periods of his career. To critics, that raises an obvious question. If the money is really there in the way he always presented it, why have those issues lingered so loudly in public conversation? Fair or unfair, people see unresolved tax stories as a sign that the cash may not be flowing as freely as the lifestyle suggests. It turns the narrative from wealthy icon into powerful figure under pressure.
What I always did was I believed in myself. Before anybody else believed in me, I believed in myself. And I believe that it's going to be, another cryptocurrency that's going to be just as large as Bitcoin someday. It's okay. That's no different from Uber and Lyft.
Then there's the crypto controversy, which may be one of the most damaging chapters of all because it affects more than Floyd's personal image. It touches public trust. In the eyes of many fans, Mayweather wasn't supposed to be just another celebrity selling hype. He was supposed to be the mastermind, the guy who understood money better than everyone else. So when his name became tied to questionable digital, asset promotions, and projects that later drew scrutiny, it made people ask whether the brand had shifted from real financial intelligence to flashy paid influence. And that is a much uglier conversation.
You were getting celebrity endorsements. One was DJ Khaled, hilarious, and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And he posted on his Instagram him taking this what do you call it? The Centra card?
Centra card.
The Centra card. And going and purchasing something with his Bitcoin at a store.
Yeah.
He did that knowing that it didn't work.
Floyd Mayweather doesn't know anything that's going on, really. So like
we all know that.
Yeah.
The guy can't read,
Yeah.
How much did you guys pay him?
Like $1 million.
He took that knowing or not caring if it worked?
It was just knowing, not knowing, right? Like, they didn't care. He does a million promotions like that. It was basically, you speak to his manager. Yeah. He's like, this is Floyd's price. You send the money over. Yeah. The manager makes his little cut from it. And he just says, what do you want me to say? And
the crypto angle became even more uncomfortable once people started framing it as a situation where celebrity influence may have been used to sell risky ideas to ordinary investors. Whether people saw it as bad judgment, careless promotion, or something more cynical, the damage was the same. Floyd's name, once associated with invincibility, started being linked to controversy, regulatory trouble, and disappointed followers. For someone who spent years telling the world he was different from everybody else, that kind of stain is not minor. It attacks credibility at the source.
Ended up doing the fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid me. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment that I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million. He custom built the house, by the way, in like 2006.
Yeah.
Started at 14, reduced to 12,
yeah.
10, 8 came on the market, and it was a lot of house for.
And then there is Logan Paul, whose name just keeps popping back into the story like unfinished business that refuses to go away. Logan has repeatedly claimed that money connected to their exhibition still hasn't been fully paid. And every time that accusation resurfaces, it creates another wave of doubt. Because here's the thing, people can ignore random rumors, but they pay attention when a high-profile figure keeps publicly repeating the same financial complaint. If money from a mega event is still being argued over years later, it makes people wonder whether the machine behind the scenes is far messier than Floyd's polished brand.
Flipped a house in Florida from 18 to 20 mil, and he's got a place in LA that's like $25 million he's trying to sell now for like 48, which it's funny how now all of a sudden Floyd's trying to sell all of his assets. What does that tell you? He just sold his private plane as well, which I don't know what that went for, but again, he's offloading assets because he's massively in debt and owes people a lot of money. And he's trying to finance something, whether it's legal fees, whether it's other mortgages, whatever. But yeah, getting a net negative of $4 million on the house you built and then put on the market is probably the worst real estate investment you can make. Outside of maybe a strip club that no one goes to except you, because that is your vice, gambling and strip.
Once you combine those disputes with reports of asset pressure, legal bills, and possible borrowing against high-value property, the picture becomes even darker. Critics have argued that some of Floyd's most iconic symbols of wealth, the jet, the cars, the houses, the luxury lifestyle itself, may no longer be simple trophies. They may now represent obligations, leverage points, or pieces of an empire under strain. And that's a powerful shift, because the same plane that once looked like freedom can start looking like collateral. The same mansion that once symbolized victory can begin to look
way back, again, 5 years ago now, but that was like the initial rumblings around that fight. And what Floyd did was use Mayweather Promotions to bring them this fight and say, if you'll front us this money, we'll put this fight here. They fronted him the money. He took the money, had the fight at the Hard Rock in Miami with Fanmio instead. That was the company that put it on, Fanmio. And Logan saw none of that front end 10 mil. And the people that paid Floyd the 10 mil never saw a dime back. It's nasty work what he did. But this has been like one of Floyd's MOs, is that he leverages his fight name or his quote unquote assets, and which is what, a lot of wealthy people do. They leverage their assets to take out bigger loans or, whatever. But Floyd does it in such a reckless way that no one ever sees return on it. He just takes money. It isn't a loan, he steals.
Even Floyd's exhibition choices are being re-examined through this lens. What once looked like easy entertainment or smart promotion now gets viewed by some analysts as something more urgent: cash generation. That's why his post-retirement fights create so much debate. Are these events about love of boxing, about legacy, about proving he still matters, or are they mainly about feeding a system of expenses that never really slowed down after retirement? When a fighter with his resume keeps returning for spectacle bouts, people naturally stop asking whether he can still perform and start asking why he still needs
provisions in place. I've talked about this, ad nauseum over the last couple of years, but the fact that we actually get some details on this from Logan is hilarious.
Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, the fact that Logan agreed to 15%, he's got that manager, Jeff, who says, I make the big deals. He got absolutely rinsed on that deal. But also, Graham has some important information about Floyd Mayweather. And again, his, I wouldn't say shady business dealings, but how bad he is with money. Let's keep listening.
Company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment. That I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million. He custom built the house, by the way, in like 2000.
Floyd didn't just build wealth, he built an identity around displaying it, and now the world is watching to see whether that identity can survive the pressure of lawsuits, rumors, debts, critics, and public doubt. Maybe he pulls off the greatest financial comeback in sports history, or maybe we're watching the final unraveling of the money myth in real time. Either way, one thing is clear: the Floyd Mayweather story is no longer just about boxing, it's about power, image, ego, and the terrifying cost of trying to look invincible forever.